Hey everyone, I'm Mind, and this is set number 71807, Sora's Elemental Tech Mech from the January 2024 wave of Ninjago Dragons Rising sets. This set contains 209 pieces, 2 minifigures, and will retail for $19.99 in the US. This was gifted to me early for review by the LEGO Group through the LEGO Master Network, but all opinions expressed in this video are my own. I'm doing a bunch of early 2024 LEGO reviews right now, including the rest of the Ninjago sets, but also LEGO Sonic, LEGO Dreams, LEGO Monkey Kid, and more. So if you enjoy this kind of content and you want to see more, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm getting super close to 100,000 subscribers, which would be an amazing milestone to reach. Also make sure to let me know in the comments which 2024 Ninjago set you want to see an early review of next. Thank you all very much for your support, and now let's get into the review. So Sora's Elemental Tech Mech is one of 3 mechs in this wave in this size and this style. The other ones are Kai's Elemental Fire Mech as well as Cole's Elemental Earth Mech, both of which I have full reviews up on the channel right now. So if you haven't seen those yet, you can go check those out after this video. But I mentioned those two because all 3 of these sets are meant to go together, and not just visually, there's actually a play feature with all 3 of them, plus one more mech, a Lloyd mech, that's coming out in March. You see, these mechs are actually made to be able to be taken apart and swapped around. You can pop their arms off very easily, just pull them off the ball joints. And then there's also articulation on the waist, which is great for posing, but you can also just separate these 2 parts completely. And there's how that looks. You can see this is actually a new white 1x2 brick with like one of these rigid Technic pieces on the inside. And it connects into this gray part right here. That works perfectly for these mechs, but I think it's also an amazing part just for customs. I know it's one that a lot of people will definitely want to get. Here's each of the parts separated, and each of the 3 mechs that I showed you could do this exact same thing. So when you put them back together, you can mix and match. So if I wanted to, I could put Cole's legs here and Kai's arms, or any other combination you can think of, which is a really fun play feature. Now I won't be showing all of that in this video. I want to focus on specifically the Sora mech, but in the next few days I'll be making a separate video showcasing like all the different combinations you can make. Because in this video I just want to focus on reviewing the Sora mech specifically, so now with it all built up and put back together, let's take a closer look at everything it has to offer. Starting at the feet of the mech, they're actually very thin and triangular. They actually remind me a lot of what the Evo mechs use, though obviously a little bit bigger because the mech is a little bit bigger. When I was building this mech, I was actually struck by a little bit of like deja vu, because I'm pretty sure when I was doing one of my custom Evo mech videos, at one point I had this piece on one of the feet like this. It might have even been my custom Sora mech. I was looking back at my custom builds and it doesn't seem like it made it into the final version, so I don't think you guys have seen it, but it was an idea I had at one point, so it's neat to see that official LEGO designers had a similar idea. Range of motion here on the feet is fine. It's only a little bit forward and back, but pretty big side to side. And of course it's on a ball joint, so you can swivel things around. And then the legs themselves are pretty good. They do feel a little bit plain from some places, though I do like the trans pink in the middle as well as the dark blue. Definitely feels like this is being powered by Sora's elemental power. And of course they use the double SCCBS joints right here, just like the other mechs do. Now the plainness of these legs is sort of covered up by these pieces up here, and these are actually an all new part for this wave, a new addition to the SCCBS line of parts. And in the other mechs they've been used as like knee pads and armor, but in this case it's almost like a little skirt, while also still obviously being armor for the mech. I mentioned it in my other reviews, but I do really like this new part so much. It just feels so versatile, and even if you just compare these 3 mechs, each one uses this part in a different way. And I believe each one has a different color too. This one's of course pearl gold, so it's nice to have so many options for it already. But yeah, this connects on a clip so you can move it up and out of the way if you want. So that way you can move with the leg a little bit if you're trying to get like dynamic poses out of the mech. That's something I do appreciate. It doesn't always work, like if you move the leg forward, of course that can't come with it, but you definitely do have some options. Because this mech is so thin, the range of motion on the legs is huge. It's pretty much everything you could possibly want. Full 90 degrees forward, basically a full 90 degrees backwards, a little bit less than that, as well as being able to flip it out this way completely. Basically anything you could possibly want it can do. The waist, as I mentioned, does swivel, which is great for posability, and it does do a full 360. And we have the SCCBS cockpit piece right here, which I think fits these big mechs really well. That's an all new printed part that comes in all the different mech sets, and it's just got like that dragon symbol on it. And of course if we open it up, there's the room inside to fit a minifigure. So I can plop Sora inside and close it back up around her. And there's how she looks actually in the mech. I like these sort of spike pieces on the side of the cockpit. That creates a fun shape. And it's neat how it's rounded back here too. That's different than what the other 2 mechs do. Coming to the arms again, just like the legs, they're very thin. We have the seatbound blade pieces coming off of mini ball joints, which you can use as like weapons. And then we have the older SCCBS armor piece right here, the smaller one, and it's holding just a golden katana on the side. And then the actual mech hand uses 3 of those newer finger pieces that were introduced this year. I mentioned in my review of the other 2 mechs that like each mech seems to have its own distinct function. Cole's is very clearly like a tank. It's big and it's bulky, but it's probably not very fast. Kai's feels more like a classic soldier or knight. It's like tall and armored and it's bulky, but it's not nearly as bulky as Cole's, and it's clear it's still meant to be able to move around, while also still swinging that sword. Sora's though is easily the least armored of the 3, and she seems to be mostly focused on weapons. You can see she's got the 2 blades on one side and the spinning pink blade on the other, and as I mentioned, there's hardly any armor at all. Like if you compare this to the other 2 mechs, those things are super bulky, this one is not, and I kinda love that. It helps each one feel distinct. You're not just building the same build in 3 different colors. No, each mech is tuned to a purpose and to a character. Genuinely so well done. But anyway, taking a look at the actual weapons, they just attach with a Technic pin to the hand. So with it removed, you can see there's a technical right there. The other 2 mechs also have technicals in their hands, so if you want to swap the weapons around, you can. on. Obviously, this does fit Sora the best, but that is an option you have. The pink spinning blade is a very cool part. We got this in Translate Blue for Zane, like, what, 2 years ago now at this point? So it's neat to see them do a very similar concept, though now in Trans Pink, and it does a really good job just to, like, represent Sora's elemental power being used. And then the other arm, she has these 2 giant blades just, like, sticking out from her hand. I really like how that's done, too, and how it differentiates her from Kai, because it's not like she's holding a sword, and no, that's a blade from the actual mech in the arm. Of course, the fingers are on top of it, but the way this would fight is entirely different than how the Kai mech would fight with a sword. However, just like everything else, yes, that is removable, so if you want to swap the hands around or give it to a different mech, that is an option you have. By the way, these swords on each side are just attached on clips, so if you wanted to take Sora out of the mech and just have her fight on her own, those are accessories you can give her, just 1 sword from each side. This build's very dynamic and very fun, and definitely a different vibe from the other 2 mechs. It's not my favorite of the 3, I definitely like Kai's better. However, I'm not sure which of Cole's in this one I prefer. Both have a lot going for them, and they're really good in their own ways. But yeah, I'm incredibly happy with this build, happy to see that Sora has another set for herself. Great color scheme, great theming, and it also seems fun to play with. Not really any complaints here, this is very well done. However, of course, that's not everything in this set. We also have a side build to look at and the minifigures. So now let's move on to that, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts on everything at the end of this video. The side build's just a little terrain piece, this tree, and I mean, hey, I appreciate it being here. We get these magenta leaf pieces, which is a fun color for that part. Also the dragon horn piece in black right here, which I don't think that's new in that color, though I could be wrong. And then there's just a dark blue disc piece to hold it up. There is this trans clear bar coming out of the top, and that's so you can pose a minifigure. So for example, you can have the wolf mask warrior in this set jumping out of the tree. Nothing too crazy here, but hey, I mean, these are some really unique colors, especially for these parts. This just feels like a bonus. I'm happy to have it here. No complaints from me. So here's the first minifigure in this set, of course Sora. And I already talked about this in my Eagle the Master Dragon review, but I am disappointed to see that she doesn't have a new suit here. Because of course Sora's one of the new ninja, like she and Aaron are a part of the team now. So it's a shame to see that neither of them got the love that the rest of the ninja did. Especially because we know that in the show, Sora's going to be the one that makes all of these mechs, including our own. Why does someone like Zane get a mech pilot suit when he doesn't have a mech at all? But Sora, the one who has a mech and made all the mechs, doesn't. It's just disappointing to see. I wish she was treated like the rest of the ninja and got a new suit just like them. All that being said, that doesn't change the fact that this is a really good minifigure. Some positives, I believe this is now the cheapest way to get Sora at all. Considering that she is one of the main characters, that's nice to see. This is also the cheapest wide-released way to get her hairpiece. Now her hairpiece is available at LEGO stores, so you can get it very easily there. But if you don't have a LEGO store near you, the only other way to get her hairpiece is in the Ninjago City Market set. And of course that's, what, $350? So $20 is significantly better. So I do at the very least appreciate that. She does have a half mask here, which is a different look. I think it fits her well. And then yeah, just the same torso and legs that she had in the first wave. As always, I do really like the arm printing, makes the figure feel extra high quality. And there's a full look at her face print and torso print with the half mask removed. Her design's meant to be like a street racer, but also a mechanic. And she's got like this cat logo on the back, which is very cute. I will say this suit at the very least does fit the mechs. Again, I would have liked a new one for her because the rest of the ninja got that. But at least, unlike Aaron, this actually fits in with the mechs because she did drive mechs before. Aaron, though, I'll talk about him in other reviews. But his suit is the most disappointing one of this wave. So yeah, I don't have much else to say on Sora. I'm happy to get her and her hairpiece for cheap, but it would have been so cool if she got a new minifigure here, and she just didn't. And then here's the other minifigure in the set, a Wolf Mask Claw Warrior. And the actual minifigure comes in quite a few sets. He's just one of the generic villains of this wave. However, the back attachment's a little bit interesting. This only comes in this set, and I'm not sure exactly what this is meant to be. Some sort of jetpack, maybe? Or like extra arms to attack, like little claws? I'm not sure. The box art like shows him jumping. But regardless, I mean, it looks cool. You can see the extra arms connect onto the back on like these classic LEGO robot arm pieces, so you can move them out, move them in. And there's a jumper piece on the back if you want to attach something more there. But yeah, I don't know, it's a fun way to mix things up, but I don't have a ton else to say on it. It's a neat little build, it's a fun extra inclusion. But with that removed, it's just the standard Wolf Mask Warrior. This one does come with like the Wolverine claw pieces, which are always very fun parts to get. I know I always wanted them as a kid and didn't have them. And when I did eventually finally get them, I had so much fun. These guys do have a really good design. I like the dual molded mask piece and how it actually wraps around the back. The eyes are done very similarly to like the LEGO Batman masks, where you can see it looks like there's blue eyes underneath, but if you take that off, there's just a full minifigure head there. The Ninjago on the torso says the word wolf, and there's a good level of detail here. Dark blue and purple is a great color scheme for villains, and I think the lighter blue adds a lot too. And then the face print on this guy's really good too. On one side he's like almost possessed, he's got like these striking blue eyes and these blue teeth, but on the other side he's a little more normal, where the teeth are just like metal, and he's got standard LEGO minifigure eyes. We don't know what the deal with that is yet, because the show hasn't come out, but hey, I mean, it looks cool at the very least. I don't have too much else to say on this guy, because I have already covered him in quite a few other reviews, so if you want to see me go more depth, go check out one of the other reviews on my channel. But yeah, I mean, for generic villains, they're very good, very high quality. My favorite part is definitely the dual molded mask piece. And so, overall, what are my thoughts on this set? Well, just like the other two mechs I covered, I do genuinely really like this one. For $20, it's a really good deal, because while the piece count's just about right for like what a $20 set should be, the actual size of this mech's pretty impressive for $20. Now, I did say earlier in this video, I'm not sure if I like this mech or Cole's mech more, but regardless of that, this is definitely, of the three mechs, the one that I recommend the least. Because while the build's just as good as the rest of them, the minifigure selection is not anywhere close. The Kai mech's a little more expensive, but it comes with 4 total minifigures, 3 of which are exclusive, and the Cole mech's the same price as this one, has one of the exact same minifigures, the villain figure, but the Cole figure is all new and exclusive, while this is just the same Sora from the first wave. So whether or not I recommend this set just really depends on what you're trying to collect. If you just really like mechs and you're like, hey, if a mech's good, I'll get it, this is one I'd recommend. And if you don't have a Sora minifigure yet, or if you don't have a hairpiece yet, this is probably one I'd recommend just as much as the other two, because the build's onto the same level. But if you're a huge fan of the Ninjago show and you really care about minifigures, and if you're buying on a budget like you're not going to get everything in the wave, I would recommend probably one of the other two mechs over this one. Now, if Sora actually had a new minifigure here, that would be an entirely different story, but unfortunately I do feel like the minifigure selection holds this back from being a must-have set. All of that being said, it's a very good build, lots of fun to pose, lots of fun to play with, and again, that play feature where it mixes with the other two mechs is a really fun concept. So this is a really good set for a really good price, but it's just not for everybody. But of course, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe to my channel if you're new, and let me know in the comments which 2024 Ninjago set do you want to see an early review on next. But as for this one, I think that's about all I have to say, so thanks for watching everybody, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!